thing that I have noticed is I have a hard time with boss babe. I have a hard time with lady boss. I have a hard time with girl boss. I have a hard time with boss bitch. I have a hard time with all of those because it's not feminine. Well, hello there, prosperity seeker, and welcome to the Prosperity Approach. I'm your host, Allyson Chavez. Super excited to bring you another episode this week because I want to talk about something that is, I think, controversial. I think it's going to tweak some noses out of joint, but it needs to be said because it's so profound and it's so true. All right, so total transparency, like we are so tired of being lied to. We're so tired of being gaslit and all of that. So I want to be totally transparent with you. And that's one of my things is transparency and like, this is who I am and take it or leave it. I am going through up-leveling and changing my marketing and my brand, not necessarily like the people that I want to attract, the women that I want to attract, but there's been like, I am growing out of like my company because this is what happens. This is for those of you who are new in business, even those of you who have been around the block like I have, I've been doing this for more than a decade. As we evolve, the business evolves. So it feels like there's like this falling apart, but it's actually like falling into place. And part of it is in that fall apart phase requires a lot of faith, and there's a lot of fear that you have to face because fear has to be moved through. It's just part of growth. And so I'm going through that. And just like refining, I'm just going to say, I'm refining my brand. I'm refining my messaging and wanting to be even more authentic, more real, more, I'm genuine anyway, but like that's neither here nor there. But one thing that I've noticed is I have a hard time with boss babe. I have a hard time with lady boss. I have a hard time with girl boss. I have a hard time with boss bitch. I have a hard time with all of those because it's not feminine. And I'm going to tweak some noses out of joint with this by saying this, but it's not feminine. And the way that I know this is that I've tried on the boss babe. I've tried on the lady boss. And as I've been working with my team and we're like, they said, what's the feminine version of a lady boss? And I was like, oh my goodness. You're absolutely right. There's got to be a feminine version of a lady boss because lady bosses aren't feminine. They don't operate in feminine energy. They are operating in masculine energy. They just really rock the stilettos and the pencil skirts and the blazers. And so just so you know, you will never see me in a blazer unless it's like totally blinged out. But like, I am not a smaller, less hairy man, as Allyson Armstrong likes to say. I'm a woman and I have a natural optimism and a natural enthusiasm, and boss babes are not feminine. They're not operating from feminine. And here's how I also have another witness to this. I was talking to one of my clients who is absolutely amazing. You need to check out Half Teas on Amazon, and like, she's so incredible, so incredible. And I was talking with her about like how can things be even more powerful for you? How can I serve you at a better level? All of those things. So it was like a feedback call from her, and we were talking, and she said, and in fact, I wrote it down because it was so profound, that she was so exhausted by this movement that women have to be everything. And as we were talking about it, and she was like, we have to be she said she's self-motivated in everything. And she is constantly monitoring everything in her business, everything in her home, everything with her relationships. Like she's taking care of everything. She's got her thumb on the pulse of everything. And I was like, yeah, so who takes care of you? And she was like, exactly. I love that accountability. I love somebody pushing me into like higher potential and calling me out for things, but doing it in a loving way. And we had such a great call about this. And I said, okay, so here's my question. I think we're all exhausted behind the movement of women have to be everything, because what we do is we think we have to be everything to everyone except us. Instead of like we can experience it all. We can have a really deep, fabulous relationship with our spouse and our children and crush it in business. It's not the task, it's the energy that we're in as we're doing the task. And I said, does being a boss babe exhaust you? Or the thought of being a boss babe or a girl boss or a lady boss, does that exhaust you? And we were doing a Zoom call so I could see her, and I watched her, and she was like, oh, yes, it's exhausting. And it reminded me of way back in the 90s. Do you remember the show, The Cutting Edge? And it was an ice skating show, and she was like, or ice skating movie, and she was like this ice queen, right? And like he's like the rebel hockey player. And she's always trying to go for the gold, and they get so close to it so many times, and then something happens and they don't get it. And there's a scene where she's talking to her dad, and they've got this gold medal case that's in like their trophy room of their house, and it's empty. And they're both looking at it, and he's like, we're so close. We're so close. I can just feel it. And she looks at him and she says, you know, and I'm paraphrasing this because I haven't seen this movie in forever. She said, I would just like to know that win or lose, I can still be your daughter. And I thought, I think that most of us, especially us women who are high achievers, who own our own businesses, who are CEOs, who are in positions of high leadership positions in business and in life and in church and like all of those things, it's like, God, at the end of the day, can I just be enough? Can I just be your daughter? Win or lose, can I just be me and have that be enough? As she was talking to me about just being exhausted by this whole movement, I was like, we've got to shift this. There's nothing feminine about the feminist movement. The feminist movement was literally designed to destroy the family. And if you don't believe me, go back and read the minutes of their first meeting. And it's right there written in the minutes. That's the whole purpose of the feminist movement. Does that mean that I don't want women to get paid as much as men do? Of course not. But I also know that women and men are different in every cell of our bodies. Women have gifts that are unique to us, and men have gifts that are unique to them. And it's when we learn to balance these gifts within ourselves, because we all have masculine and feminine energy inside us, but also working together as partners instead of adversaries. Like that's when life gets super, super magical and so much easier to live into our highest potential. Because what I do know is that we have been programmed to believe that if something isn't hard, then it's not right, or it's not worth it if it's not hard. And so then we start second guessing like, oh, things are clicking into place. When's the next shoe going to drop or the other shoe going to drop, right? Like we get really, really nervous when things are going well, and then we have to sabotage it. But nature is all about flow. Nature is all about ease, not necessarily easy, but ease. Those are two different things. And so we got this programming in us, especially as ambitious women, that we have to be everything to everyone. And we also have people-pleasing programming. So it just creates this massive mental conflict inside of us. But then we have this, if it's not hard, it's not right. Oh no, if this makes me happy, God probably doesn't want me to do this. And so we just get off in the weeds so fast all the time. But here's the thing. I had a mentor years and years ago who used to say, what's the easiest, fastest, most pleasurable way to get to X result? And I really love that, because before that I was all about the struggle, and now I'm all about the prosperity approach to wealth building and healing your relationships and like all the things that a prosperous woman and prosperous men do. But I was all about the struggle, like, oh, and I just don't believe in that anymore. And just like I don't believe boss babes are feminine, because every boss babe I've talked to is absolutely exhausted, and they reach their goals and they don't feel fulfilled, and they feel like the people that are most important to them get the very last drop of them, but they feel so guilty about that last drop, and they devalue that last drop that they don't even give that last drop to their spouse or to their kids, because they don't value their very last drop. Do you see where I'm going here? Like, it's just, it's, you want to talk pandemic. Like, this is just epidemic proportions here, especially in the US. So when I was talking with this client, she was saying, I just got to figure out how to have more purposeful fun. Because I do everything and I have fun with everything I do. And she is a high achiever, multi-million-dollar business owner, like just absolutely amazing. And she's like, I have fun with everything I do, but I want it to be, it's not very intentional. I want it to be more purposeful. And I'm like, well, you do know that's like the feminine energy. right? And there's been lots of programming there with her and my other clients that we get to like unwind and unpack with. If it's fun and easy and pleasurable, what's the easiest, fastest, most pleasurable way? It makes them feel like they're cheating or they're being lazy or they're not paying the price. And I'm like, no, actually that's using your resources. And so I thought just this morning, I was thinking about that, like fastest, easiest, most pleasurable way to XYZ. And I am a God girl. I'm a Jesus girl. You all know that. And faith-based and go to church every week. And I was thinking about in the Bible when like Judas was freaking out about not having money, they had to pay taxes or they had to pay some sort of something or other, and they didn't have the money for it. And Jesus didn't say, all right, drop everything and go work a job, go do some day labor. He said, go fishing. And they were like, that makes no sense. Why would we even do that? But they were like, okay, well, like we'll test it out. All right, they were faithful. They were willing to experiment, and they go catch a fish and they cut open the fish, and I don't think they even cut it open. Like there was a big silver coin or whatever in the mouth of the fish that was enough to pay their taxes. And I was just like, okay, I kind of think that the Lord is part of what's the easiest, fastest, most pleasurable way for us to take care of the taxes. It wasn't stop your mission and go do something else. Now, sometimes we get to do other things in addition to like that complements our mission and helps us, because sometimes we gotta fund our mission. We gotta fund our dreams. But it wasn't just drop everything and get into panic mode and work really, really hard. Most of like at least two of his disciples were fishermen anyway. So that was their skill. That was their livelihood. So it wasn't hard for them to go catch a fish. And now suddenly they've got the money that they need. And so my point is, cheat codes are great. But if you feel like you're being lazy, if you feel like downtime or easy, fast, fun, pleasurable, which gives me joy, which has the most flow, is somehow like working the system or somehow like cheating the system, that's programming. And we got to undo all of that programming. So here is what I would love to hear from you, because I'm really just wanting to reach one woman at a time through whatever way I can, whatever platform that I can. And I want to hear from you. So I want you to shoot me an email. And this goes right to me. This doesn't go to my team. This goes right to me at Allyson@AllysonChavez.com. And hopefully you know how to spell my name by now, but it's ALLYSONCHAVEZ. Allyson@AllysonChavez.com. And let me know if being a boss babe is exhausting to you, or just the thought of it is exhausting to you. And what other things would you like to hear about or to watch on these episodes? What's important to you right now? Where are the gaps that you're seeing in your marriage or your relationship with your children, or in wanting to get married, or with your money, or with your business? Where are those gaps that you're seeing that you're like, man, if I could solve that, then everything would be so much easier. I would love to hear that so that I can speak into it. I'm just tired of the lies that we have been sold, especially as women, about what's expected of us and about how to go about things. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I want to know if you're tired of it as well. Okay. So again, shoot me an email, Allyson@AllysonChavez.com. Or if it's easier for you, if you're watching this on YouTube, just put this in the comments below. Like, do you agree that all of those like lady killer boss and like all of that really isn't actually feminine at all? And what would you like to hear more of? What would you like me to talk about? So there it is. There it is. Doing a little bit of market research because I want to be even more powerful for you. And I want you to just know that I got you. I got you, and we're in this together, and we're not sinking. We are sailing, we are soaring, we are rising. That's what prosperity approach is all about. It's not about money. It's about changing the way that you perceive things. Maureen St. Germain said we need to change our perception of possibilities. And that's what we need to do. That living your highest potential, there is an easier, better, faster, more pleasurable way to live your highest potential and make that your new normal. and I can show you how to do it. So until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you. Bye-bye.